broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
That's the song.
We got some sexy music. That's right, because we're here on the Brink, the sexiest after show at AFTERBUZZ TV. What?
From the Midwest, with all Midwesterners.
We're all Midwesterners, which is, we're known to be also the sexiest people in the country. Very well known.
We eat the best.
We pack on the pounds.
We pack on the pounds. We got the dairy. Speaking of dairy, we have Dave Holstein.
Oh, man.
That's right. Like the Holstein cow, right?
I like how you act like you knew that.
I didn't. He
Before
just
5 minutes
me.
ago. Yeah.
But wouldn't I have been smart if I did know that? I didn't know that at all.
Okay.
But we're very excited. He's a writer and producer on The Brink. He's going to give us some amazing insight. I'm Lauren Lograsso. You can find me at Lolo Logro on Twitter and Instagram. And Dave, tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, God. I'm at Cowstein at Twitter. That's Cowstein, like the Holstein cow,
I get it.
which is a cow.
Oh, I never got that before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Cowinator.
Yeah. The Cowinator.
The Cowinator.
Never been my
No, that hasn't been
nickname.
your thing? Ah, we're starting
Sounds like
it now.
someone who destroys cows.
Right.
He's a cow destroyer, guys.
Depends how much
Yeah.
beef you eat, I guess.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough today because there's two Daves on the panel. So anytime Dave, I'm just going to assume no one is talking to me during this entire show.
That's a good
So that's
assumption.
most of my life and my parents. So Dave Abed back after being sick last week. A lot of phlegm, but most of it is past.
I gotta say, I saw you the night before at the bar. And then the next day you weren't here and I was worried about you.
That was at the Surly Goat?
Yeah.
That was the night before?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't
AFTERBUZZ
think so. I think
drama,
that was
am I
2
right?
weeks.
Are they having a
That's
thing?
2 weeks
Should we
before.
pretend not to worry about
Right, thank you.
awkward.
And you can find me on Go Blue Dave on Twitter and Dave Abed on Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm Jon Manganello. You can find me at Johnny Mangs on Twitter and Instagram. So
Get over there.
Get it on. If we don't all have 10,000 followers by the end of this show, we've done something wrong.
Oh,
We have a dollar.
absolutely.
How many
Okay.
Twitter followers do you have, Dave?
I think I'm cracking 1K right now.
1K.
I think I'm really...
This guy is on fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here at AFTERBUZZ, that's all we care about. Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah,
followers.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
well,
how I value my self-worth.
As you should.
And
so
we care
does
about
ours.
dogs barking as well.
Dave, it's so nice having you here.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you
It is
for coming.
surreal to be here, you guys.
You've been
Most
watching
people
us
say.
for
I feel like I
years.
tripped into my Twitter feed and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm in Oz."
You're in heaven.
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
And how does it feel? Like better or worse?
Well, first of all, I am so glad to know why you guys wear these headphones because that was
Yes.
always my big question. And it's really like bright in here, like a lovely waiting room at a dentist office.
Sure.
It's
I thought
very
You're going to say
bright.
womb for some reason.
I was gonna say womb, but nothing else is womb-like, so I
Yeah.
thought that would throw people off.
No, I would have gotten
This
it.
is probably the darkest place you've ever been.
Yeah.
A womb?
Yeah.
Womb. With
Yeah,
the
like
B
a
at the
woman's
end.
womb. Okay,
Yes.
Woomba. A Woomba.
A Roomba,
Yeah.
which is
That
a
sounds like a
robot
name.
that cleans your floors and,
But Dave, I
and
gotta
is
ask
a
you,
midwife.
I
Yeah.
didn't mean to interrupt, but
No.
how? Now you say it's bright in here, but what's that have to do with the headphones? Or are those separate things?
Oh, those are
He
just
just
separate
lists-
things.
he
Yeah.
lists
He's going through his experience.
For the
Shall you
last-
let him have his experience?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
No,
Anytime.
I want you to have your experience. I was confused, but now I'm on board. I love the episode today, and I would say that if I didn't love it because you're here, but I
Right.
did
Thank you.
love it, and I am saying that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's go through some initial impressions of the episode.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you. Yes.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the writing was impeccable on
Yeah.
this episode.
Just impeccable.
It was,
The producing was really good, too. I
Yeah,
felt the
some solid
producing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't see last week's episode until today either, so it was a great two to watch together because it's a lot is happening.
Yeah.
And, finally, we say one of the things that's confusing about this episode is a lot of times people have bad things happen and there's never any consequences. But now we're starting to see a lot of consequences.
I was thinking of you, actually.
Yeah. So, it's getting excited. Obviously, the show is called The Brink, and it's feeling more and more Brinkish every moment. So,
Brinkish.
Brinkish.
Let's get that going.
Yeah, hashtag Brinkish.
So I also, just some general thoughts. I had the same feeling. We've talked a lot about that on the show. I'm waving this at you.
Yes.
And I came right from the Silicon Valley after show to this, back to back, sort of, a couple months ago I did Silicon Valley, and then this started right after that series ended, or that season ended. And something that I think you guys do a lot better than Silicon Valley, not that it's a competition.
Never, no.
Is
but get to it.
okay. So in both shows you have men at work in power, smart, intelligent, and yet we see them being goofy, or we see them fucking, or we see them messing up.
TVMA all of a sudden.
I'm so sorry.
I promised you I wouldn't do that.
Okay. Our target audience is probably 18 and over anyway.
Hopefully.
We see them messing up. But the thing is, did you watch the last season of Silicon Valley?
Oh, yeah.
So they tried, I thought they tried so hard to bring in females to the second season.
Sure. Yeah.
And I feel like you guys aren't doing that. Your women are just better characters.
That's really kind of you. I really appreciate that. I hope
you.
that's true.
Thank you.
I really hope that's true.
Thank you.
Have you guys been getting any flack for it being such a male-heavy cast?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I think it's kind of it's tricky because part of the thesis of the show is that men with flaws will destroy the world.
Right.
So you kind of want to show that there are a lot of male characters that control big things like nuclear weapons and the Situation Room.
Absolutely.
And then when you have a female character, with maybe the exception of the hooker, you want to flesh them out as much as possible and make them the opposite of what you would hopefully expect them to be.
Absolutely, and I think that you guys do that. I think actually more than anything, the women are have the most level head in this show.
Yeah.
Heads.
No, I think that's
The women give the best head in this show. is what I'm trying to say.
Johnny.
What?
TVMA too.
I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. David was
I
nice
think
having me
I
on
know.
my
I
last
really
day.
think I came on this show and you left.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Dave is going to replace Shawnee. It's going to be called Lauren and two Daves moving on next
like
week.
a sexy
fantastic.
show.
Yeah.
So that's my general thought, and I thought
It's a great
today,
thought.
Kendra, right? We
We call her the Aide.
I swear to God, when I saw the show, the first, guys, we don't hide the fact that her name is Kendra. It's all over the,
it became-
Kendra.
it
Okay,
became kind of
it's kind of our
yeah.
joke, and also I gotta say it. Kendra sounds like a party girl name. She's such a
Do
smart.
you know a
intelligent.
Kendra who parties?
Yeah, Kendra, Girls Next Door.
I know.
Oh, Kendra. That,
He
yeah,
knows that,
okay.
Kendra.
Sure.
I've only known those two, so that's why I feel it's a party
We will
girl
say,
name.
and you know what? We're being on. We're
Yeah.
gonna be.
We gotta be
honest.
honest.
Yeah, no.
How did you choose
all
the name
Kendras are
Kendra?
party
We're gonna
girls.
rip this show
I
apart.
didn't choose the name, but whoever did choose the name, probably Roberto or Kim,
Deserves a spanking.
really deserves a lot of credit for finding someone who apparently shouldn't be the chief of staff to the Secretary
No,
of State.
she should. I'm saying she's
No.
so smart and she's so intelligent and
Yeah.
she's always on it. I don't picture her with that name. I guess I picture her with more of a
What
classic
would you like
name.
it to be?
Barbara.
Barbara?
Yeah.
Barbara's got a nice,
I could go with
solid,
Barbara.
Yeah.
sturdy
Elizabeth.
Claire.
Elizabeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as her last name is Holstein, I'm
Claire
happy.
Holstein.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a good name.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm gonna put that in my back pocket.
Yeah.
If you leave with one thing, if you take one thing away from us today,
Name my future
we-
child after.
oh, that.
AFTERBUZZ.
Yeah. Got it.
After. Okay, great. So yeah,
Done.
So great. We're gonna.
glad we
So
cleared that up.
one thing we got for sure, he's gonna name his child Claire.
Claire.
Good.
Good. That's what we were all wondering. So, other than that, we should probably talk a little bit about the episode. You guys
Sure.
think? Yeah.
Yes, a little bit.
So, do you want to do it character by character today, guys? You feel that?
Yeah.
You feel that?
Character by
Okay.
character would be great.
Yeah, I feel good about that.
the further into the season we get, the more I feel like the storylines are interwoven.
Well, that's,
Which we
that's the
figured
fun
would
of
happen.
beginning.
That's the
Yes.
fun of this show is structuring three stories that hopefully build and kind of dovetail throughout the season. So yeah, it's structured mostly so that you guys can talk about it in 3 steps.
You can add after.
Yeah. They wrote it for us.
is what I'm
nice.
saying.
Dave,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
So let's start with Zeke. I know he's my favorite for sure.
Yeah, Zeke.
He's so good.
Pablo
is
Schreiber,
amazing.
just a terrific actor.
Yeah, it's so cool because we all watch Orange is the New Black, and to see how different he is in this character. He's handsome as this character.
Yeah, he's a very handsome man.
He is.
Yeah.
It just shows his acting chops.
And his abs for days. Abs. He has abs. Who knew? Porn stash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
Another thing we want you to take from us that we like your characters naked on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
We like the way you've developed them as well. So he is getting back to the base, and we're finding out, they're okay. But what happens? The War of the Women is happening.
it's the War of the Roses.
Yeah,
That's the real war.
That is. And he walks into a battlefield.
Yeah,
That
and you
was
might say they
great.
dropped a few nukes of their own.
Oh, you might say
you
that.
might.
So his relationship is on the brink.
Yes, and there might be fallout.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, and
Yes.
and Pakistan. I don't know. There's no.
Yeah, no, Pakistan can't quite get in there, but maybe at some point
Sure.
it will.
Right.
Yeah.
So, is it Victoria? What's the wife's name?
I'm not going to give it to you.
Okay,
I'm going to watch
I wrote
you
it
go
down.
through.
I wrote it down.
What if Dave
Vic-
forgot?
Oh no, I know all their names.
I
aide.
wrote it.
It's Kendra.
No, it's not. I know that for sure. It's not
Claire.
that.
All the
I
women
know the
on
other
the
girl's
show.
name is Gail.
Yep, you got that. It's Ashley.
Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was
Thank
like
you.
Vic or Ash. It was a 3-letter.
Victoria and Ashley are just like linguistic cousins of each other.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one I'm on board with, that name. But
Well,
so,
they rhyme.
Victoria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
True. So they are Ashley. I was almost going to say Victoria. Ashley is Skyping in, and
It's actually not Ashley.
it's not.
No, it's Ashley.
Oh, don't trick me like that. So she's Skyping in, Gail's sitting there, and they're
Yeah.
interrogating him and basically double teaming him, for lack of better words.
Right.
Yeah.
Fine.
There probably were better words, but no, I think that's what's happening.
Well, not all of us are writers on this panel, so we're just doing
Right.
the best.
No,
we can.
obviously.
So she comes in and they're talking and basically reading him the riot act, and he tells Gail he doesn't love her.
Yeah, it's a quick
Yeah.
decision there. Do you find, like, in a half-hour show, obviously you got to get to it real quick. Do you often write do you have to sometimes write longer scenes and then condense it to get to the meat of what these
Sure,
people
yeah.
are? 'Cause
I think we try to move plot so fast in every scene, and sometimes to our detriment. But I think that
Right.
with an episode like this where there's so much going on, I think we were just trying to get Zeke in the air.
Because it was kind of
Yeah.
surprising. I was like, whoa, he just chose the one chick, and then it's like, buy other one.
But to me, that's also kind of funny that he's just like, I'm you, not you. I'll have a Big Mac, and he's just completely trying to skate through life.
And meanwhile, she is also like, okay, sell some pills, and then we'll be fine again.
Right.
You've
Yeah.
been cheating on me and whatever. So that was funny.
I thought it was kind of on track because he had obviously revealed that before when they were in the jet and it was crashing that he was in love with her. So I was happy that he stuck to his guns and actually was honest for once.
Yeah. He's a fighter pilot. Sticks to his guns.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. It keeps coming, the puns.
Punning.
And analogies.
So
A little uncomfortable that the woman he said no to
so hot.
It's so beautiful. I understand.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
going to say. No, I'm still thinking about Porn Stash's abs.
Okay.
No, sorry. No, I'm not thinking about them. I was thinking, no, it's uncomfortable that they have to be physically around each other.
Still after this awkward
they have to
yeah,
work together.
yeah.
Gail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be really awkward.
I mean,
fun.
Good thing there's a war.
Right,
going
to
on
distract
to
him.
distract him.
And
From,
maybe-
Okay, I'm glad you bring this up
Yeah.
because all three of our main characters care, it seems, more about these trivial matters going on in their lives than about the world.
Tim Robbins seems to care about the world
Yeah.
pretty strongly.
Well, Tim's the only one who can actually change the bigger picture. You know,
Sure.
and these other guys have their kind of smaller stories to focus on. They're parts of the bigger puzzle.
I agree with that, but I am saying, like, Tim Robbins is as a human being, not as a character. No, his character is Walter is worried about like screwing the women around him, like the translator and.
I think he was. I think the great thing about writing a show like this is you're writing a movie, and there are these long arcs for the characters. Where some like Alex starts as a buffoon, and then kind of changes a little bit, becomes a little more selfless.
Yeah.
I think Walter too kind of began one way and is sort of focusing on something in another way. And I think that's the fun of writing for HBO is you get to write these movies where the whole story is 10 episodes.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel Walter has finally come to his senses because he has to. And
Yeah.
he realizes the number one priority is doing my job. He says it at the end. So,
Yes, and you know it's true.
and you know it's true.
Yeah.
He's doing it from the bathroom stall. He's getting down to business.
Yeah.
So, he turns off the TV and goes to sell the pills.
Zeke, yeah.
Yeah, Zeke.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, I got us off
Transition.
track. It's my bad. Yeah.
And
So-
no one, why did none of the flyer guys have money?
Yeah, only the cook.
Only the cook wants ecstasy. Where do they put all their money?
Well, in Zeke's case, he's got alimony. He's got a lot of bills to pay.
No, I mean, why don't the other people that
the
want to
other
buy
pilots
it?
have
Yes,
money?
yes.
Because they're not paid a whole lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I
figured it
thought
was
that was sort of the joke.
It's kind of the sure, a lot of those guys make some money, but a lot of times there's so much taken out and based on what they have to actually buy themselves, and it's at the end of the day you're not making a ton of money.
You can't buy illicit drugs.
You can't afford illicit drugs. You can
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Try to
When
buy it
writing
every day.
this show, how much attention goes into the political as opposed to the just like guttural humor?
I think a lot of it.
comedy.
I mean, from my angle, a lot of it. Like the
Yeah.
conversations we have all day are very political, because that's the thing we can do that no other show can do, is really like honestly talk about politics. Like in the last episode, we were like F Ronald Reagan.
Right.
Have you ever heard a show call out an actual politician and
President.
say like F that guy?
Right.
No.
And so I think we have to I think we kind of owe it to the audience to really talk about politics.
Yeah. Well, we find that, I mean, that's one of the things we talk about is sometimes we have a hard time because a political issue will come up, and then I find myself thinking about that issue and then almost not able to catch up with the humor that's happening around it
Sure.
because I'm caught now thinking about, oh, yeah, what about that issue? And do you guys struggle with that as well in writing it and where the balance is?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a balance.
Yeah.
And I think that the fun of it is it's on HBO Go, so you can go back and watch it a second time. But
Pause is your best friend.
pause is your best friend. If you
Yeah.
need to stop and think about something
You've done
heady,
something
you can just
well.
pause. You can
Right.
let the thought kind of just wash over you, and then you
Yes.
can.
Okay. So
but
I'm not doing enough pausing, is what we're
I
saying.
think
Right.
Okay.
pause.
Sure.
Or rewatch.
Or rewatch, okay.
But no, but honestly, I think that we try to find that balance of a show that at its core is actually based on a lot of grounded truth.
Yeah.
In a scary way,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that the people who handle these things might not be as smart and non-hookery as you would anticipate.
Right.
That's actually horrifying.
I actually think what's great about our show is that because we're a comedy, I think we can get to the truth a little bit better. You can
get there
actually
quicker.
say and get there quicker. I hope.
That's
I
really
think so.
interesting.
And I like that your show, too, brings the audience up to your level. You assume you have an intelligent audience, which is nice because so many shows do not. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And it does make me think. I mean, oftentimes I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And you do have to do the pause, but I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
The pause.
The pause.
Then what does he keep doing?
He keeps do you love my crazy notes?
Yeah.
He goes and then he tries to sell the drugs, but they're like, oh man, they're too expensive, can't afford them.
Yeah.
So his commander comes up to him and he's like, listen, you gotta
Be a bro.
be a bro,
Be a patriot.
be a patriot,
Be a hero.
do something for
Yes.
the country. We're
Yeah.
about to go to war. Give them the pills.
Fine.
So he just gives them to them for free.
Yeah.
What a
and
good
he's-
guy.
Well, he's depressed, obviously. He doesn't
Yeah.
have any money. His marriage is going to crap.
Ash is gonna be mad.
I was gonna say,
Ash
how's
slash
Ash gonna
Victoria.
feel?
Ash. I love how you've nicknamed her already.
He called her Ash.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, but
he did. He did.
See, I wrote it. Ashley and Gail. I just couldn't read
Yes,
it.
Ashley Gale. I see it. No, it's on there.
Yeah, Ash is gonna be paved.
She's got those two
Peeved.
babies.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the other
then
one.
the penis statue comes out, obviously, to
Yeah.
save the day.
Yes,
Yeah.
as they do from time to
Oh,
time.
mine
Yes.
comes out all the time.
If I had an
Yes.
Eritrean penis statue
Oh
for
my God, you
every
bring it
rainy
up?
day,
Ugh.
I would just
Yes.
put that thing on my car.
Oh, I have one on my car. Yeah,
Yeah.
and this gets a lot of attention. Now, what's Zeke's friend, the buddy's name?
Well, we call him the sidekick, but his real name is.
Don't you love
Glenn.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Glenn, I feel like we love Glenn.
We love Glenn.
He's so sweet.
And I feel like
Eric Layton, great actor.
Ernest.
And what's great about him is his words. You know, I had a buddy who auditioned for this show early on, and he was like, you know, I had a hard time because it doesn't necessarily read funny. As you were mentioning earlier, you kind of write it almost like a drama. And I just think he... I mean, as good as anybody else, but I see almost more in him. He just creates a personality that's fun. So he brings these words that could be just like boring, but said by a bad actor. But he just has this great energy about him that drives every scene.
I actually try to write him like really bad dialogue, so that when he gets to it, like he makes it good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well, that's interesting.
Just totally kidding.
I don't know what he means at all.
No, but what's fun, I think what you hit on is that like we tried to write this show as like 3 pairs of comic buddies,
right?
You know what I mean? And there's a straight man and there's a comedy, and like Jack has Asif, and Walter Larson has Mary Beth Monroe, you know, and Zeke has Glenn, because these guys need someone to talk to, you know, while they're saving the world,
right? So we confide
but we tried
That's
to kind
really
of
interesting. I never
write
put that together.
Write that through, so they all kind of have just a buddy comedy going on. At all times.
He's great. Did you think of him? Did you guys think of him originally in the casting, or was that just
no?
an
Actually,
audition?
what was great is that Eric, I think, was so great in the pilot and made us realize that we needed him around because he's just, I can't picture their scenes without him.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
They're so wonderful. They've got such a great patter together. And I love the part where he keeps going lower and lower with the 50-50. So he's like, all right, fine, 60-40. Or you got me, 70-30.
You got kids.
Just the silence that Pedro's character did.
His nostril flares.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was so funny. I love that. It was probably one of my favorite parts of the episode.
Right.
Great.
I love that, and I love to switch to Walter. I love the part where Kendra was psychoanalyzing him.
Kendra's the
aid.
The aid,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm not sure if you know that.
I was going to say the
Yeah, I love the aid. But that was so funny. But so let's start out with Walter. We find out Zaman is alive. Raja's dead.
Yeah.
He's freaking out because obviously his plan has gone to hell. And they're talking about nuking people. And they've got a new plan. It was, what was that called?
Operation Infinite Wisdom.
Operation Infinite Wisdom. That's correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are
It's like you
Nailed
wrote the
it.
show. Yeah.
Well,
And Walter's trying to say, hey, you guys, we cannot do this. We need to try harder to not make another world war. And the president and Pierce are just like, whatever.
You would do a great sock puppet version of this show.
Right.
Yeah, just Walter. You should not nuke. I think it's perfect. I think it's really like it distills everything down to its
That's
essentials.
what this show should be.
It's really great.
We're a distillery.
Yeah.
We're a show distillery.
I will take that as a compliment.
That was a
Thank you.
compliment. I honestly like that's. It's such a skill to be able to like distill everything down to just its essential vitamins and minerals.
Well, I'm glad you like that. But I'm very concerned at this point because obviously we're on Walter's side. He's correct. In my opinion, I'm sure yours too, because you wrote
but
it.
I mean, you know, obviously Zaman tried to launch a nuke.
Yeah, underground. It happened underground.
Yeah,
they were going to do it at Tel Aviv.
And from the president's point of view, I mean, Walter has, and they say in this episode, like Walter keeps trying, and the things he says are wrong, or in terms of what the president sees.
Yeah.
So it is this continual, like we see it from Walter's side of he's right, but the actual characters don't get it.
Yeah.
So it is this
or
continual
you're just kind
battle.
of painted into a corner. I mean, at that
Yeah.
point, it's like, what do you do when like Pakistan has just said like it's just hit the button?
Yeah.
It's like you can't talk him down from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You mean can't talk the president down?
I mean, you can't talk Zaman down from war if he's
Just
already
an insane,
you know,
monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Principal Figgins.
Because when he's like, let's nuke, my first thought is, well, don't you know everyone's just going to nuke you back? That's what always gets me about nuclear war. Like, one person presses the button, it's all over. I guess he's just crazy enough to not
Well, that's
care.
why you need a crazy person to seriously.
Yeah.
Because the insanity of that logic is what a lot of countries hold over us, is that they're actually insane enough to do it.
Right.
You know, and we're like, but wouldn't that? I mean, you know, like on the ladder of escalation, like we would go, but like I don't think like that.
That's
so, you know.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the reality of that situation.
No, it's terrifying.
No, it's terrifying. Yeah.
I think before I met you, I thought of the creators and the writers on the show as being like really intelligent.
Johnny!
I still think they're intelligent.
Wait, before you met me, you thought we were intelligent?
Can I finish my thought? Really, like, sitting around a room, like, jerking each other off and like talking about the political
that does happen.
Sure, no, I mean that's why we have two hands.
Meeting you,
So you can write in.
Yeah,
meeting you,
Yeah.
and this is a compliment, I promise. It's in here somewhere. Meeting you, I'm like, oh, you're just like a dude. Like you're like a cool, normal guy.
I'm a normal guy. Yeah.
How interested in politics? How interested in what's going on in the world are you?
Pretty interested.
Because you seem to have a lot of information about things that are going. You know what I mean? Just like practically, I would, if I had to write this show, I'd be like, okay, how do nukes work? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are so few. As a comedy writer, it's really exciting to be on a show that has something to say. You know, and so when given that opportunity, I think you're like, well, I have this opportunity. I better learn everything there is to know about this stuff. That? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I you read books and you talk to people and. You find people who know people who are in the government, and you just let them talk to you about like the crazy insanity that happens there.
That actually was what I was going to ask next. Is have you heard from any like politicians about what they think of this show?
It's a good question. I don't. Yeah, one actually, George Bush the First. Okay, who was best friends with Jerry Weintraub, who's our late great producer,
of course,
and. Jerry showed George a couple episodes and got the thumbs up. So that's all I know.
That's awesome.
But
I'm glad I'm glad I found that out because that's really interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if politicians would be big fans of our show. No. I think that we're basically saying that there are not many good ones of them.
Yes.
So. Which is not true because Walter, I think, is a terrific guy.
Is there any of the craziest things that's happened during this show that you've actually gotten as fact? That's something that you've heard as a story and you've worked it into the show?
A lot of it, yeah. A lot of like stuff I can't even tell you.
Okay, that is actually horrifying.
Yeah. It's it's amazing. I think how close we are to the truth, and no one will ever know. It's terrifying. Yeah.
Okay. Has had like a bibliography at the end, or what do you call when you reference where you got this part of the show from?
A footnote?
Yeah, footnote. This actually came from the second Bush administration.
Or like pop-up, you remember?
Pop-up videos? Yeah, you should do one of those for the Brink.
Well, sure. I mean, but look like John Larroquette's character, who's a born-again Christian who believes that once all the Jews go back to Israel, you know, like the end times are coming, and the destruction of Jerusalem is actually a good thing, as it brings about, like, Lindsey Graham probably believes that, you know, so, like, it's not all that far-fetched.
Yeah.
It's just anyway. We were talking about Walter.
So
it's gonna be a 3-hour show.
Yes.
Sorry, guys.
We'll get through the rest, pretty quickly. But then the president says, "Oh, we got to get the girls on the choppers to bring them back to America." And Walter's like, "No, you're going to be hostages. If you do that, they will be hostages. We can't do that." President doesn't listen.
Yep.
See, that is what's so frustrating, and what I think you guys do well here too, is that he's the voice of reason, but no one will listen to him, and it's like the red tape that the two sides go through. And are these people are all on the same side, and they can't even get anything done.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So he leaves a meeting. He's super upset. Kendra, the aide, comes up to him, and this is the part we talked about before, and it starts psychoanalyzing him. He's like, "You got to get in there. We need you. I started working for you because you're a guy who makes a difference, and I want to be with someone who's like this." And so he goes back in there, and he gets into his baser instincts, and he just, he mounts Pierce and punches him in the face. And it happens.
We've all wanted to punch that guy, I think, since the first episode.
Yeah.
Well, someone finally, no fighting in the war room, as they say.
We used to call Pierce the foil.
The foil. The foil. Did you call Walter the protagonist?
No, we think that Talbot's a protagonist.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's how we see it.
What is Pierce most well known for before this show? Because that voice.
I think he was on Dexter. Am I wrong?
Oh, that's right. He's the head detective guy.
Jeff Pearson's also a fantastic actor. I call him Money because everything he says is just money. He's got great
get to that in my acting. Yes.
I think him and Mimi Kennedy, who plays our CIA head across the table.
Oh yes.
They're very good with their one-liners.
Just throw him out
Yeah.
there.
She is good.
Send him up, knock him
Well,
down.
you know who's not in a good situation is Walter, because he gets fired. They say, no, we're going to put a replacement in.
Yeah.
But then he goes up to Kendra and is like, I just got fired. He goes through this whole thing, get me an Asian prostitute. Or that was before. He asked her to get me
That was
an
before,
Asian prostitute. So he goes through this whole thing saying got fired. And he's like, but we're going to make these last few minutes count. Goes down to the bathroom, tries to get Talbot on the phone
Right.
because they want to get those faxes in that say, tell us Zaman's psychiatric findings.
Yeah.
And so they're making the call. That's how we're left. They're trying to get a hold of Talbot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talbot's
You skipped the hockey team.
Yeah. Oh, shoot,
yeah.
the hockey team.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping us on track.
Sure.
Johnny, go ahead. You have something to say about that.
No, just I was laughing
Great.
at that moment.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, I think I don't have anything to add to it besides
No,
like, good.
I like when we go a little absurd, and so like that's one of my favorite moments in the show is just
I
the
had a
hockey
question
team.
about that for you.
Yeah.
So was the hockey team supposed to be symbolic of when George W. Bush was like trying to read to the kids on 9/11 at all?
No, but that's a fair like interpretation.
Okay.
I think because it was less about a leader looking stupid in front of or equal to a bunch of
Right.
preschoolers, but just the idea of these guys are idiots. They control your future. Burn it down.
right. Actually, it was
Burn
a
the White
very-
House to the ground.
And I think that's probably what I most enjoyed in that moment is just that honesty, and it's so great to see Walter sort of unravel in a way, but also he's not really unraveling. He's just being honest and truthful, and I love that moment. I thought it was great, and it actually surprises me. I know I'm getting off topic, and I'll make it quick. It surprises me that you think not many politicians would like this show, because similar to Silicon Valley, I think what you guys do is really funny, and I think a lot of the people from like Silicon Valley have gotten on board with this satire. This show that just ridicules them and drags them through the mud in a way.
That's true.
So I would hope people could have a sense of humor about this
I would
show.
hope so. Yeah. I mean, we try to be equal opportunity offenders, as you kind of have to be.
I think you are
Yeah.
across the board.
No one comes out unscathed, which
Yeah.
is good. You either offend no one or offend everyone.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I
Yeah.
And I'd rather offend everyone.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Get
of
everyone
course.
under
Half
there.
everyone.
You want to go down the line?
Yeah. Bad hair, stinky, bad wow.
So let's get to Larson, who we see as the protagonist. He and Rafiq start out, their storyline starts in the episode, and they're fighting about the girls and United States versus Pakistan relations. There's a you people thrown in.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very awkward. I'm sad about this because I wanted them to stay in the fold with each other and stay friends.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting back there by the end.
Well, it's nice to see a little drama between those two guys. I think
It is.
They're very good actors dramatically.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. At least it was fun for me to like just have them have like a dramatic moment where like not a lot of their scenes end with buttons. Like there's like it's just like F you. Like there's no like. And then a ba-dump bump. Like this is a serious rift in a friendship.
Yeah.
So that's why I like watching those guys.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
trying to win over Rafiq, and he says, "You're my Tonto."
He's like, I mean, I could be your Tonto. I mean, whatever. I'm anyone's Tonto.
Yeah, it's like when someone's digging themselves in a deeper racist hole. We've all
Yeah.
seen it happen.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Ambassador's losing it. That's what I have here with an exclamation
Mm-hmm.
mark. Obviously, he's already lost it, but he's going deeper and deeper into that. And they find out about the fact that they're going to have to evacuate because some serious SHIT is going down.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
So we can spell out the curse words.
That's fine.
Yes.
Because the kids can't understand
They can't
spelling.
spell.
Right.
Oh, the kids, the Brink
See, their
kids.
illiterate children are very smart and political astute. You know?
Right, they watch the Brink
Yeah.
but don't know how to spell.
Yeah. So they start trying to get into the choppers. Everyone's starting to load them up. But the ambassador wants to be on the last chopper with the girls and with Rita. And
What's her name?
isn't it Rita?
Rita?
R-E-E-T-A?
Rita Moreno, the Pakistani
What
actress.
is it? I thought it was R-E-E-T-A.
It's Farida.
for Rita, but they've called her
Rita.
Rita a couple times on the show.
I don't think so.
That's never
Really?
happened.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
Maybe-
I'm pretty sure
It's
they
a
did
nice. I mean,
couple episodes.
it's a term of endearment. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
Rita.
All right.
Riri.
For
Well,
Rita.
I guess I just make up nicknames.
No,
for
that's
people.
fine. I mean, they're not like on IMDb or publicly accessible.
Oh
Pounding.
God, I'm
pounding our
getting
house
murdered
to
today.
death.
So Farida,
Farida.
she Farida for real.
Very beautiful.
She is very beautiful,
lovely. She's lovely.
and they start loading everyone on the plane or the chopper, and they won't let Rafik on with Farida and the girls.
Yeah.
And Talbot is trying to get Rafik to get on there, but they say no. So Talbot ends up staying behind with.
It took me. I saw this episode twice, and it took me the second time to see that moment when Talbot was giving the money to the pilots. Because
You actually don't see him give the
but
money.
he goes,
yeah.
"We cool," right, or
yeah.
something, and
Yeah.
that's what we're supposed
Yeah.
to have. Is that's when he gave him the money, right?
Yeah.
That looking back, that's when it would have
right.
happened. Yeah,
But you don't not catch that
yeah.
the first time around. You just
Yeah.
think, how do these pilots
Totally.
get this money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just more of when someone asks, "Wait, how did they get that money?" Like, "Oh no, it happened earlier." But like, you don't
Right.
need to know that now.
Yeah.
You know that later when it's
Yeah,
more.
because you don't want to give it
important.
away at that moment or
Yeah.
give that story plot away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then what was the "Who's Grover Cleveland" line? What does that mean?
With the
Sure.
$1,000 bills, right?
Yeah, the $1,000 bills have Grover Cleveland on them. In episode 4, Alex gets a bag of money from a guy named Leonard at the embassy.
Yes.
He's actually that really short guy who's on the chopper with
Is that
them.
who that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, where did this guy come?
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
real.
That's just my Easter egg because I love that guy, and I
Yeah.
was like, he's got to be on the helicopter. You know,
Oh, that's funny.
And Grover Cleveland is on the $1,000
Okay.
bill, which is an episode 4 thing. So that was
a callback.
was a callback to
Okay.
when Raja gave him that little gratuity at the end of that.
Yes,
thing.
yes.
So
Yes.
he has
the
that
bag. Okay.
that money.
That's where that came from.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, the president of the United States twice.
Grover was,
Cleveland, yeah.
and and also a name of a character on Sesame Street.
Yeah.
So-
I always liked Grover.
Sure.
He was a sweetheart.
Blue. Yes.
Colorblind.
Quick question, John Larroquette.
Lord, yeah.
Yes, we wanted the casting of him. Well, we've talked about him. Such
Sure.
a iconic actor in what would you say, the '80s? I guess it would be.
I guess Night Court was
Yeah.
a
Oh,
big one.
yes.
Yeah.
But Stripes, and he was always kind of the general
Sure.
guy. So, and he's kind of been, especially in the first couple episodes, very small, maybe 5 lines in an episode.
Yeah.
I mean, so we were kind of just wondering, what was the thought behind bringing him in, and what was it that excited him about the project itself that made him want to be part of it?
Well, I mean, I think when you're on HBO, you have an embarrassment of riches, and
Right.
like when you have a part that has an arc but a small arc, I think you can attract great talent like John, and I think he'd say the same thing that Jack and Tim say when asked about why they joined the show was just they really liked how different what we were doing something very different. They wanted to be a part of it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And because it's probably like, I'll come in a set for a day or something during some of those episodes. Like, it's pretty simple job for him.
Yeah, it's great
But
because you can get big actors to play like small to medium sized parts,
Yeah.
but like well. you
Right.
know?
Oh, yeah.
And,
He's great. He
yeah.
milks every scene.
Yeah.
Not overactingly, but he
No,
gets
he's
everything
great.
out that
Yeah,
works.
he's terrific.
Yeah, you believe him every second as a crazy wacko.
Remember when I said I thought you were intelligent before I met you? Didn't mean it like that.
No, it's okay. I knew that what you meant was probably way worse, and you were just hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to that.
I've just been stewing.
Okay, good.
Johnny.
How's Alex doing?
Alex is good. Well, he could be better, but he's going to get out through the tunnels where he had met the man from
Zhao.
Yeah,
Zhao.
that is he.
Yeah. Well, we hope so. Because at the end of the episode, it looks like he's kind of cornered.
Yeah.
And his cell phone's ringing.
You left us on a cliffhanger.
Real
Yeah,
cliff. We're
yeah.
hanging off the cliff.
This was a great episode, and it from start to finish, I was like on the edge of my seat.
Thank you.
You sat next to me. I
did, yeah,
I
I
was
was-
on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to watch. Sorry for staring at you the whole time while you were watching.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
did. Thank you. It made me feel important for
Sure.
a second.
Big episode next week too. Big episode.
Oh, yeah, I
yeah,
bet.
yeah. We. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I watched it once by myself and then once with John, and I realized, I think this is a show that's better when you watch it with people, because it's like, you kind of laugh a lot of times during the show on the inside. You're
Yeah,
like, that's
yeah.
amusing, but then when you're in a crowd and maybe they laugh, then it kind of almost gives you the freedom to be like, I am enjoying it right now. So I was like, this is a show that is better. I mean, it's just like, it would be best for people to watch it with friends.
Yeah,
I think.
it is fun to watch with people.
Yeah,
Brink
hold
with
hands. Yes.
When it lingers,
those
like
hand
it
jobs in.
lingers, there's things I can think about afterwards. So that's great. You ever watch a comedy and you're like, that was great, but like whenever
It
I
leaves
get
you
to-
right away, yeah,
right, or a
certain ones.
musical or something, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
So what I'm asking is, will there be a musical episode of the first No, I'm
good.
just
Coming up
saying.
next week.
That would be very silly, actually.
It would be terrific.
Yeah, awesome.
So yes, I think that's so right. Like, I laugh on the inside a lot. And I'm like, like the smart side of me is laughing.
Right. That's good. That's good.
But it's really good. It's so good.
Thank you.
I love that final scene with Farida too, where they land at her uncle's, was it lake house?
It's like a lake house, yeah.
And she goes, "I just really misjudged someone." I thought that was a really lovely moment.
Yeah, it was really, really lovely as well.
When I wrote it, I thought
that's fantastic. I
really nailed it in that line.
And I love the guy who plays her dad because he was on How I Met Your Mother.
He's so
Did you
good.
watch that
He's
show?
got that face.
Yeah,
He's just so funny.
So lovable.
Yeah, he's great.
Cutie. So now we want to get to the part where we ask you a few more in-depth questiones. So this one's
I believe.
yes, know the truth.
Wow. There's nothing left I can say.
Right.
Really.
Were you a theater major as well?
I was a film major, but I hung out with the theater majors because
cool.
they were cooler.
Right.
And
Obviously.
yeah.
Some of them.
Some of them.
There's always the weird
Yeah.
ones.
They're at least interesting.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and very, very creative, and always wanting to make things, and so.
You went to Northwestern, right?
I did, yeah. I did.
Beautiful campus.
It is a lovely campus. Were you there?
I visited when
Yeah.
I was doing my little college tour.
Because we're all Midwestern people.
Yes,
Michigan State,
we're all from Michigan.
Michigan.
Where are you from?
New York.
New York.
Originally,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But you spent some time
In Chicago,
Evanston, right?
In
That's
Evanston,
the name of the
Illinois.
town.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
great. So I started doing theater.
Okay.
And then I got my first job on Weeds as a staff
Yes.
writer.
And how did that opportunity come about?
Well, Genji Kohan is a beautiful, smart, wonderful person, and I was a PA, an office PA, on season 2 of Weeds, and I was having a baby and needed an assistant, so I became her assistant, and for a summer, and I had to play in New York, and she saw the play, and she offered me a freelance episode of the show off of that, and
So cool.
And then that show, Weeds, God bless it, went 8 years. So I started writing season 3. And
That is so cool. Because the thing that scares, I think, a lot of people who have high aspirations, like being a writer or an actor, or any of these harder to reach goals, is that when you take a position like being assistant, they'll only think of me as their assistant. So it is very cool to hear that she took your aspirations seriously, saw how talented you were, and helped you to run with them.
I mean, I think everyone just needs a good mentor.
Yeah.
Who being an assistant is great because you get to be in the room and you get to
Right.
know everybody. And a good room of writers wants you to accomplish your dreams as well.
Right. They want you to succeed.
Yeah. So they were a very good group of people. The Weeds writers, and
That's nice. So
Yeah.
you kind of got to be her apprentice.
I mean, I got to watch and learn from a master. I mean, she's really, really masterful, and so yeah.
Very cool. Well, I always like hearing people's stories because I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of people out there watching this who are hoping to be a writer and producer someday. So maybe you'll inspire them.
Yeah, just keep writing.
Keep
the
writing. That's what people
just
say.
Keep writing.
Did you ever read the book The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield?
No.
That's an incredible book, but he says that you have to do your work every day. Having the stomach flu is not a good enough excuse to
Yeah.
not do your work.
Yeah.
So I think that's really
Always
cool.
do the work. It's a really good
advice.
Yeah.
And rumor has it that you and the Brink creator Roberto Benabib have been working together for almost 10 years. So, and Johnny,
I'm
That was shocked. Yes.
I can't.
He thought
Now that-
5 at the most.
Now that I know there's actually vodka in here.
Right.
I'm very humble.
Which, by the way,
Talk
cheers. I think you have peppermint schnapps, but this is.
Sorry. So anyway, 10
Yeah.
years.
So tell us how that relationship began and how you guys why/how you work together so well.
Sure. Roberto was the one of the executive producers on Weeds.
Okay.
And sort of ran a lot of the day-to-day, ran the writer's room when Genji was out. And that's how we became friends, and he's one of my mentors. And he invited me on this show to help him out. And we've been doing this for about 10 years now, the two of us. So it's a really good working relationship,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like having a working relationship that lasts that long is just as incredible as having a marriage that lasts that long in Hollywood.
Sure. No, when that person is a 50-something man and you're it's very similar
It's
to a marriage, as you say.
It's an artistic marriage.
Yeah.
There's a lot
The
of
Greeks had a word for that. I
What
think.
was that?
Oh, I don't know it, but it's in Greek.
There is a word for it
the Grecian
somewhere.
word
Yeah.
for artistic marriage. Do you guys have any questions? I don't want to take the whole. Interview here.
There's not another show like this. I would say, really,
I hope
takes
not.
satire from Veep takes politics in a different way, more of an improv-y, light feeling. And so I'm wondering, when you guys, like, you know, if you, I'm sure most writers look for inspiration from other shows when writing their own show. I mean, is there other shows that you look at that have a something that's similar?
Yeah, absolutely. But we look at movies. Like we looked at like MASH. We looked at like Catch-22 or Doctor Strangelove. You know, those were
interesting. Yeah,
what we were. Because, you know, the fun of the show is that, like, no one really does political satire with high stakes.
Right.
Veep is about, it's funny because it's about how little the stakes are.
Mundane.
How mundane they are. That's why it's great. You know? And our show is about how big the stakes are.
Right.
And I don't think, other than looking at, like, Homeland or shows that capitalize on the dramatic aspects of it, there's not that satire out there.
No.
Even West Wing, which is a great show,
love that show.
is not really satire. It's actually sort of the opposite.
It feels real.
It's very idealized. You know, it's very much like your government is amazing. You know, and like the smartest people all work there. Isn't that crazy? You know, like you know, it's gonna be fine. You know? It's gonna be fine.
In the end, the best idea will win. Yeah.
Also, great trivia fact: West Wing, the only other Hispanic president you'll see on television.
Oh, interesting. I just kind of thought about that this episode.
I was like, just gonna say that.
Yeah, like you never bring it up.
Straight on.
Yeah,
which is great.
I thought about that, and I was like, "Oh, interesting."
Was that written like that, or a casting decision? Or?
No, I mean, he's written as a
Hispanic.
Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know originally, but I think that now he is Hispanic.
Now the president is Hispanic.
Chances are pretty high. Yeah.
Have you heard of the podcast Throwing Shade?
No.
It's great. It's a great comedic podcast hosted by two UCB people who they play a game when they have a guest on called Highbrow Lowbrow, and I kind of want to do the same thing now because I do have one highbrow question and one lowbrow question.
Oh, great.
Although my highbrow question isn't that highbrow, but my lowbrow question is like
so lowbrow.
The lowest brow you'll ever see.
So highbrow, do you at this after show we talk about the show, we sort of pick it apart, we have opinions, we ask people to tweet at us and all that stuff. Yeah. I'm wondering, what do you do that? Do you look for people's opinion? Do you care? Do you research what people are talking about?
It's a great question, because I think especially in this day and age on the internet, you receive a lot of information from people. And at the end of the day, you really you want everyone to be happy. No one's ever going to be happy, but like you can't really listen to anyone but the people that are like you have you have to shoot for like one person. Like I try to make sure Roberto likes everything I do.
That's
right.
And Roberto tries to make sure that like his wife likes everything he does. You know what I mean? So in the way you can't.
Right.
It's like you want to make every time you see a criticism of your show, you're always like, we'll fix it next week. Yeah. But like you just can't do that. Especially with a show like ours. For everything you fix in one category, someone's going to say, well, it's not funny enough this week. And then you try to, it's you can't win that way, but it's certainly, an issue that you think about a lot.
That's really interesting, yeah. And I wonder, because you're at such a position now where, like, people are talking about this work you create. I would be when someone writes a nasty comment on our YouTube channel, I, like, get sad for like a day.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine where you are.
You can let it get to you, but like I think the fun is, if you're writing something divisive, which is what any political shows, but especially satire, if everybody's happy with it, you're not making strong enough choices.
Thank you. That's great. So that's really interesting. Because I know we have to go quickly lowbrow. How did you guys do the massive penis?
I really wanted to say that was just me stepping in, but like I figured you'd all see that coming like 3 feet away. No, but actually I walked in the scene and I was the guy.
You were the him.
It's a prosthetic penis that is a prosthetic penis.
I wish it was yours.
But that guy, I mean, like, what a great, if that's your only role on television,
Big penis guy.
Yeah, not a bad thing to be known by.
That was real.
Elephant trunk.
Yeah.
Lauren had never heard of a penis called an elephant trunk before.
A
penis is called an elephant trunk because an elephant's trunk looks like a penis.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just never had heard that specifically.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Couldn't explain his
It's also how men clean their backs.
They just use... Right. That's very, that's good.
Yeah.
I never realized.
That's why it's called
under the legs or over the shoulder. It depends.
Yes, thank you. In the shower, that's why our backs are always
they're
clean.
They're multifaceted inside
Sure.
membranes.
Well, what else is there to say
All right,
after
guys.
that?
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
One more question. Who is your favorite character to write?
Oh, well, Leonard, the guy in the helicopter. No, I mean, I think Walter, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Kendra. Kendra
Yes.
might be my favorite character to write.
The aide?
Yeah, the aide. Yeah.
Good method, actually.
She's awesome.
Why?
Yeah.
Because she's just a great actress, and it's really fun to write for people like that.
Her
And it's very
timing.
fun. Great timing.
Oh my God.
You know.
I love the physical bits that she does too.
Her
Yeah,
face
she
is
did.
always just goes into the craziest looks.
Yeah.
But it's
nails the
rooted in
scene.
reality.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what's great about
Yeah,
it.
she's very grounded.
Yeah. Well, you guys, thank you so
We did
much.
it.
We appreciate you. We appreciate Dave. Thank you so
Thank
much
you for having
coming
me.
in.
Yes,
You're
lovely.
wonderful. Please tell the people where they can find you and tell you how they felt about this after show and the Brink, and you guys can answer questions.
Yes, my Twitter handle is Lolo. Low. At Cowstein, Cowstein.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And you guys tell them where they can find you.
Yes, Go Blue Dave, Twitter, Dave Abed on Instagram, and still Murder Mystery Show every Saturday night at the Next Door Lounge. We're selling out all the time, but there's still some dates with available tickets, so come check us out.
Thanks for watching, guys. You can find me at Johnny Mangs on Twitter and Instagram.
All right. You can find me at Lolo Logro. Thank you guys so much for watching the Brink After Show, and we will catch you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.